Okay, so imagine this. It's freezing outside, snow's coming down, you're craving a nice cup of hot tea. But when you go to turn on the stove, nothing happens. No gas.
It's definitely one of those things we take for granted until it's not there.
Right. And most of us probably don't think twice about how that natural gas actually makes its way to our homes and businesses. But that's where the expertise of a gas distribution engineer comes in. They're the ones working behind the scenes to make sure everything runs smoothly.
Exactly. It's like they're orchestrating this whole invisible network that most people don't even realize is there.
We've been diving deep into RoleCatcher's career guides on this. And let me tell you, it's way more interesting than it might sound at first. It's not just about laying pipes. These engineers are practically architects of a complex system.
And it's a system that's constantly evolving, especially with the growing focus on renewable natural gas.
Right, so they're not just using their engineering skills, but also thinking ahead about sustainability and how to integrate those new technologies.
hmm Exactly. They're involved in every step of the process, from designing these intricate natural gas transportation systems to making sure they're efficient, cost-effective, and environmentally responsible.
That's like this amazing blend of engineering know-how and forward-thinking problem-solving. So let's break it down a bit. What does a gas distribution engineer actually do on a daily basis?
Well, it's a mix of office work and on-site action. You might be out in the field one day, then back in the office collaborating with the team the next.
So it's not all hard hats and construction zones, so that is definitely part of it.
Right. A lot of their work also involves using sophisticated software to design these networks and run simulations to make sure everything is operating smoothly.
And I imagine those simulations are crucial for ensuring safety and efficiency.
Absolutely. They're using things like AI-powered software to optimize pipeline flow and minimize waste.
It's incredible how technology is shaping this field. So let's say you're a junior engineer, just starting out. What might your day look like?
You might be assisting senior engineers with those simulations or doing field work to gather data for feasibility studies, things like that.
And those feasibility studies, those are about more than just whether it's technically possible to build something, right?
Exactly. They're also considering the environmental impact, the cost, whether it aligns with community needs. It's a really holistic assessment.
Which means that strong communication and teamwork skills are going to be super important in this role.
Absolutely, because you're not just dealing with equations and technical specs.
Right, you're interacting with other engineers, clients, regulators, maybe even presenting project proposals to community stakeholders.
Exactly. Being able to explain complex engineering concepts in a way that anyone can understand is crucial.
It's about being that bridge between the technical world and the everyday needs of the people they're ultimately serving.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It really is a field that requires both, those hard technical skills and those softer interpersonal skills.
It's like they're not just solving engineering puzzles, but also navigating the human element of these projects.
Okay.
Which brings us to the career path itself. Because for someone intrigued by this blend of engineering and real-world impact, there's a lot to be excited about.
Yeah, RoleCatcher does a nice job of laying out that typical career trajectory.
And it seems like there's a lot of room for growth and taking on more responsibility
Nice.
as you gain experience.
Absolutely. We talked about that entry-level junior engineer role.
Right.
But as you start to build your skill set, you would most likely move into that gas distribution engineer position.
So you're not just assisting anymore. You're really leading the charge on projects.
Yeah, you're taking ownership.
I imagine this is where that deep understanding of industry software like Synergy Gas really becomes essential.
Oh, absolutely, because you're the one designing those intricate gas distribution networks.
And making sure everything adheres to those really strict safety and environmental regulations.
Exactly, and you're the one communicating those plans to stakeholders, coordinating with contractors, addressing any community concerns that come up.
It's a lot of responsibility, but also a lot of opportunity to make a real impact.
It is, and from there, you could even move up to a senior gas distribution engineer role.
Which sounds like a whole other level.
It is, because now you're not just managing projects, you're mentoring teams of engineers.
Wow.
Providing your expertise on even larger scale projects.
So you're not just working within the field, you're helping to shape its future.
Exactly. And if you have that drive to make a broader impact, you could even set your sights on becoming a principal gas distribution engineer.
Now that sounds like a powerful position. What does that role entail?
At that level, you're basically setting the strategic direction for the entire gas distribution operation.
Wow.
Collaborating with industry leaders, spearheading new innovations, tackling those really complex industry challenges like how to integrate renewable natural gas sources into the existing infrastructure.
It's amazing to see how that career path unfolds, from those early days of assisting with simulations to potentially leading innovation on such a grand scale.
It's pretty incredible. And one thing that RoleCatcher highlights really well is that it's not just about your technical expertise.
Right.
It's about those essential soft skills of communication, problem solving, being adaptable, having a real passion for creating a more sustainable energy future. Those are the things that set the truly exceptional engineers apart.
It's that combination of hard skills and soft skills that make for a true leader in any field, really.
Absolutely.
But let's be real. Every career has its pros and cons, right?
Of course.
So what are some of the perks and challenges that come with being a gas distribution engineer?
Well, on the plus side, the demand for skilled engineers in this field is incredibly high, which means
Job security.
job security, excellent earning potential,
Yeah.
and you get that satisfaction of working in an industry that directly impacts people's lives. You're the reason homes have heat, businesses can operate, communities have access to reliable energy.
It's a career with a really tangible impact, which I think is something a lot of people find really fulfilling.
For sure.
But what about the flip side? What are some of the challenges someone might encounter in this line of work?
Well, it can be demanding, long hours at times,
Right.
having to handle the pressure of tight deadlines. You might be exposed to hazardous materials, working in challenging outdoor conditions.
Right. Not always a desk job.
Exactly. And there's the possibility of having to relocate for certain projects. And with technology and regulations constantly changing,
You always have to be learning.
continuous learning is essential. Absolutely.
It definitely sounds like a career path where you're constantly challenged and learning new things.
It is. And speaking of challenges, RoleCatcher actually includes some really interesting examples of potential interview questions for aspiring gas distribution engineers.
Oh, those are always insightful. It's like getting a glimpse into what hiring managers are looking for.
Right. And they really highlight just how much knowledge and how many different skills are required for this role.
So what kind of questions are we talking about here? Give us an example.
Well, you might be asked to explain a really complex technical concept related to pipeline design, for instance.
Okay.
And then in the next breath, they might ask about your approach to risk management or how you handle stakeholder collaboration.
It's a good reminder that this field is just as much about people skills as it is about technical expertise.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about knowing the right answers.
Right.
It's about being able to think critically, solve problems on your feet, and show that you're passionate about this industry.
They're looking for well-rounded problem solvers, people who can see both the big picture and those smaller details.
Absolutely. And the fact that this is such a dynamic industry, always evolving with new technologies and sustainability goals, that means a gas distribution engineer's job is never really done.
It's a career that keeps you on your toes, for sure.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of gas distribution engineers, what would you say is the key takeaway for our listeners?
I think it's essential to remember just how vital these engineers are to our modern way of life. I mean, they're the ones making sure that we have access to the energy we depend on every single day.
It's one of those things we don't often think about until there's a problem.
Right, exactly.
But they're also the ones who are innovating and finding new ways to make this industry more sustainable for the future.
Just huge.
It's a field that doesn't always get the recognition it deserves, but without gas distribution engineers, our world would look very different.
For sure, yeah.
So for anyone out there who's fascinated by engineering, who wants a job where they can tackle real-world challenges and make a tangible difference,
And who isn't afraid of hard work, who's excited about continuous learning and being a part of a field that's constantly evolving.
a career as a gas distribution engineer might be the perfect fit.
It's a career path that's full of opportunities. It has the potential for making a real impact, and it's only going to become more important in the years to come.
Absolutely. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive.
Sounds good.
We hope you enjoyed this exploration of the gas distribution engineer career path as much as we did. And remember, there's always something new to discover. Until next time.